Mahatma Gandhi said, "We but mirror the world. All the tendencies present in the outer world are to be found in the world of our body. If we could change ourselves, the tendencies in the world would also change." So why is change so hard? Is it because of everyone else's stiff-necked positions on life and it's them that need to change? Because we're so obviously right? Or is it because we are so steadfast and rigid in our own ways that we fail to see our own selfishness, our own pride, our own prejudices? Hello, and welcome to episode 24 of One Man's Opinion, where I review professional theater across Connecticut, national tours, and Broadway. Today I will be discussing the Broadway revival of the Tony Kushner and Jeanine Tesori musical, Caroline or Change, running through January 9th at Studio 54 in New York City. Now, I missed the original 2004 production of Caroline or Change for some reason or another, probably because I was a poor New Yorker at the time who could only afford to see a show and my work had comp tickets come their way. So I can't draw any comparisons for you in that regard. But I will say that though Caroline or Change has its flaws, it feels deeply important right now. From the center stage Confederate soldier statue that is torn down in the middle of the night in late 1963 Lake Charles, Louisiana, to the hardened hearts of people with a lot of hate towards the system that governs them, Caroline or Change is replete with messages for today's audience. Starting on November 22nd, 1963, the musical follows Caroline Thibodeau, played by Sharon D. Clarke, a bitter and angry divorcee who works as a maid for an at least reasonably wealthy Jewish family for $30 a week. Her widowed employer, Stuart Gelman, played by John Cariani, has recently remarried, which has driven a wedge between him and his son Noah, who is played in rotation by either Gabriel Almasoro, Adam Mackay, or Jaden Miles Waldman. His new wife, Rose Stopnick-Gelman, played by Casey Levy, in all her good intentions, tries to teach Noah a lesson about the responsibilities of money by telling Caroline that she can keep any loose change that she finds in Noah's pants while doing the laundry. But, as the cliche goes, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and something as simple as this well-intended act of kindness spirals into a ravaged trail of two classes of people, where characters have to choose to make changes in their lives to improve not only themselves but those around them, or clench their jaws tight and resist, gritting their teeth in the assurance of what they know versus the unknown. The problem with Caroline or Change is, though its second act is rich with conflict and plot development, the first act meanders around trying to establish what the show is about, spending a bit too much time in Caroline's fantasy world in which she resides in a Gelman's basement, the only home in Louisiana with a basement, they say, because of regular water levels in the southern part of the state. As she does her laundry assignments for the Gelmans, she has these angel and demon visitations. You know how in the cartoons, old cartoons, you have the angel on one shoulder and the demon on the other shoulder. Well, in this case, you have the washing machine, played by Erica Jackson, who represents the angel, while the dryer, played by Kevin S. McAllister, is the demon. Though the bits are entertaining and give some insight into Caroline's state of being, it feels like it leans too much on fantasy when there are other grounded story elements that feel more important, and we can collect Caroline's personal conflicts through them. Though I think the design of the show is good, its quality is dependent on what part we're talking about. I like the exterior elements of Fly Davis's set design, but the house interior design feels rather unremarkable, though I did like how the set split, symbolizing the rift in the Gelman family, though I could appreciate people thinking it being a little too on the nose in its metaphorical sense. Jack Knowles' lighting design and Paul Arditti's sound design is great, again particularly setting up the mossy green natural sounding exterior environment, not necessarily the interior environment. Fly Davis also did the costume design, which can be silly but great at the same time. It's a bit funny how the part of the musical that I feel is extraneous is also where the outrageously costume designed elements are, especially the fantasy elements like the washing machine, dryer, the moon played by Nkenje. I hope I pronounced her name right. I'm sorry. The bus played by Kevin S. McAllister, and the three radio girls who create a fantastic doo-wop trio played by Nasha Thomas, Naya, and Harper Miles. The performances are overall good. Sharon D. Clarke gives a powerful turn, giving Caroline a bitter toughness, but also a broken and impassioned spirit, particularly when she gets to her second act song, where she sings to God and Lot's wife. It was also nice to see Casey Levy seamlessly transition into a more maternal role on stage, especially since her last role on Broadway was Elsa in Frozen. The night I was in attendance, Adam Mackey was playing Noah, and he and Sharon D. Clarke had a decent repartee when they are friendly with each other, but I got the sense that the two were uncomfortable with the argument scene that they have in Act 2. But that could also be attributed to the idiot in the house who yelled anti-Semitic during the scene, which took the whole audience out of the moments. And it's one of the most dramatic moments in a musical. Obviously, the lady 4 or 5 rows in front of me in the orchestra who yelled it didn't appreciate that Tony Kushner, the writer of the musical's book and lyrics, is himself Jewish. And he was likely drawing from his own experiences living in Lake Charles as a kid. But hey, I guess we all get offended by one thing or another. But in the end, that's kind of the point of Caroline or Change. It's showing us the hard, prejudiced face of ourselves in all its ugliness. The hate we have for those around us. The hate we have for the situations we find ourselves in. And the hate we have for ourselves. Then determining whether or not we want to live with those feelings or do something about it and making a change. But that's just one man's opinion of Caroline or Change, running through January 9th at Studio 54. So be sure to leave yours in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe to follow me for upcoming reviews. My next one will be Westport Country Playhouse's production of Doubt. So until then, I will see you at the theater.